Back to advanced SAP CAPM series. In previous video already you guys learned how to reuse the common components and what things will be there, that all things you guys learned, right? In today's video I will explain you how to maintain the validations for the user input fields and also how to use the custom logic methods. So first we will check how to maintain the validation user input. So before that what I will do is, this is the same entity what we are using to the previous videos. To get more impact, just I will add some associations for this. So to create some more validation things and hook methods for the further requirement. So just already you guys know how to define the annotation things. Let's just I will add it here. If you want in detail on that, let me know in the comment section. So I'll add some associations to this author. So same way, book has so many authors. From here, again for the authors, I will add me one more associate. That's how the structure will be like. So one author can write multiple books, right? So that's how I will maintain this structure. So one author can write multiple books. So these things you guys already know. For the association structure, how to maintain, just before starting our basic validation, just execute it if any errors will be there or not. Author. Now it's clear. Yeah, now it's ready. Now what I will do is, I will maintain the input validations. Here our validation part will come. So you guys know how to use the input validation. So already SAP supports the server side input validation. This will be controlled via the annotations file. So some which will be maintained like a properties called mandatory. That's one how to use it in your applications means like this. Just for the title, in case if this field will be the mandatory, what you have to give is just write @mandatory. Yes, like this. So if you define this mandatory, if while creating a data, if you maintain this field will be empty, it will show you a error message. So same way I will maintain some more validations in this DB screen. And for the authorizations also, I will maintain some mandatory part, mandatory, and as a target. Dot target. So if I maintain this, it will show you some target for this other fields. And same way, if the, for example, in my stock, if there is no data, defaultly, I want to show it as a 0. So that scenario I will maintain. Same way, I will maintain for author entity also. @ if you click on control space also, it will show you options and it will default set that. Now go to the test system. How to test it? From here we can test it. So here what I will do is, already this author, first let me show. If you go it here for the book, the title will be the mandatory, right? So this one I will test it here. Go to the books. I will pass this title is empty. Yeah. Now do the post method. Oh, sorry, the path port 004. Correct. Now test it. See, here you can see the multiple errors occurs. The first one is the value is required. So for this field, the value should be required for the title. This is the message you can see here. And also for the author ID also. Why? Because here we maintain then connectivity for the associations, right? For this. So this is the error. If these fields will be mandatory to fill this, that's why this is the error for this valid required for the author ID, and also this is the value required for the title. These are the two errors we can see now here. The same way, if you test it for the author, I will pass this is the empty, test it. So see the target. So for this name, the value is required. So that's how the basic validation will support in when you use these properties here itself. If you pass this stock value will empty, it will come 0. I will show you that here now. Now in the books, I will pass maintain title will be empty and I will maintain the author ID. So here what it will do is it will show you only the value is required for the title. If you maintain the value for the title, something like this, then it will be create. Why? Because these two things are mandatory, right? Let's create it. Once you create it, you can see the stock value default, it will be 0. If data is there, that data will fetch. If data is not there, it will come the default value is 0. That's how the basic validation we can maintain it from here itself. So this thing you guys understood, right? Now we will jump into the custom logic. So before jumping into the custom logic, first I will show you something how to the custom logic will support to our SAP things. So
Logic is
this custom
implemented.
logic implemented via event handler methods. So that are registered for certain event. Such events can be custom operations as such as submit orders or CRUD operations on certain entities like create authors or update authors. So these event handlers can be registered for different phases during the processing of an event, that is on handler. So it runs instead of the generic default handlers. Next, before handler, this runs on handlers. After handlers, this runs after the handlers part. So these are the event handlers. We are going to use it to our custom logics. First, in today's session, I will explain you how to use these event handlers for the real-time scenarios. Let's jump into the bash system. So to perform this custom logic, what I will do is I won't touch the existing service. Let's create a new service here. New file, admin service dot cds. Here same thing I'm going to call it. So already here with schema file, with the schema file, this is the path we are going to call it in the screens. Then this field we didn't load it at all. Just I used some excluding parameters. If you use excluding parameters, already you guys know, right? These things will will be come to our outputs. That things we will maintain. If you don't want, you can skip it as usual. Next, check the book parameters. Here something is not correct. Yeah, PUB country. So for this, if you want to maintain the alias, we can maintain that it here. That's how. Let's remove these things as usual. Yeah, now it's ready. Now this thing we are going to use it to perform the custom logic of on before handler method. For that, the first step what we have to do is we need to create a JS file for this. How, what naming convention we need to maintain to create a JS file means just CSV file, right click new file. If you see what are the CDS file will be there, the same thing we need to reuse, maintain it here. So this is the easiest way to add your custom service implementations. To simplify, the place equal name of .js file next to that CDS file. So admin iphone service.js. Yeah, where we need to create it in the SRV folder. This is the mandatory thing we need to use. Then here we need to write some of the things. What it will be is, I will explain you line by line what things we need to write it there. First we will declare the purpose we need to write for custom logic. Here if you see what I will maintain the custom logic, because let's go to the author. In the authors we have date of birth and date of death, right? For this we will maintain a validations. So how we'll maintain validation? There is a requirement like before submitting the order or before performing either create or update scenarios, when these things will generate either while creating or updating. So we will use these two methods. Before creating the data we will validate the date of birth will be less than greater than the date of death. If that is the case, we need to maintain the validation. So this one we will going to implement it here. First what we will do is we will define the method here like CDS constant CDS equal to required. We load the data here. That's CDS. Yes. So what is use of this line means this is a serious application service class. The default it will load the service provided things. So here it will add the generic provided whatever we maintain it here, right? This. So first we will assign the SAP/CDS modules to the constant CDS file of our code. Then we will create a subclass of CDS application service. How to create a subclass? As you guys know, class, that is a service name we need to maintain. What is the service name? We declared it here, this service. So this one we need to maintain it here. Paste it, that service name extends dot CDS dot application service. So here we are defining that class. Then open it. Here we are going to initialize things. So here if you see, to register the before handler, we are calling the init method. So what it will do is, it will call the inherits of before method via this dot before. So to do this, we can supply the what are the methods we want to perform. You can maintain it here. Then this dot before. Here I want to validate both create and update, right? I will declare these methods. Create method. I want to validate update method. I mean, while updating the data also, I want to validate date of birth and date of death things. Comma, which entity I want to validate. So if you see here, already within the schema file, the author is the entity, right? So that one we need to declare it here. How to declare? Same, to declare something, we need to use constant, that entity name equal to this dot entities. That's it. This one we want to validate to perform the create or update, comma. Here we will declare a function name. Within the function we will validate things. Validate live data. That's it. Now close. Then we will return the class. How to return? As usual, return super dot in. That's it. Yeah. So here we declared a function, but this function we need to maintain the logic, right? What logic you want to perform. So copy the function. So here we will get require means here we will get the required data from these entities. Dot here we need to get the date of birth and date of birth data, consonants data. So what are the fields data you want to get it, that data you need to write it here. Just already we have, just copy and paste it here. Date of birth, comma. Next one is data to perform the validations. Yeah. Equal to equal dot data. So once we have data within these two fields, first if the data is empty, then no need to validate. For that we will maintain if condition if to check if data is not equal to these fields. In if any one field, if it will be empty, then not required. For that I'm maintaining this logic. Or condition. So if you are good on JavaScript, these are the basic things we will maintain, like if conditions, loop, all the things. So if you don't know these if conditions, then the basic JavaScript things you need to learn. Now, if here I will get a data like some string format, right? That one I want to to check the proper validation, I will maintain it this data as in same standardized format. For that, what we need to do is I will declare a variable and assign that data here equal to same like JavaScript new date. So once I pass that data here, it will commit as in same standard format. Yeah, that's it. Same way for the equal to new data of data. Then once we have both birth date and death date, then what we will do, we will validate in if condition. Death date will be less than birth date, throw a message. Actually in UFI, if you want to throw a message, we'll use like message error. Here same way we have like required dot error. If you maintain required dot error, it will throws the messages. Here you can show a message like the date of death is before the date of birth, like this. So the date of death is before than the date of birth. Here if you maintain the dollar dot date of birth date, so what it will do is whatever the data will pass it, right? That data dynamically I'm passing it here. So to know the user what data they're passing it from the date of death and date of birth. That's how. Now let's jump into the test system to validate this. Here now while creating and updating I maintain, right? Now I will write date of birth. Yeah, equal to, here I will maintain like 1991 07 21. So when you click on post, it will throw the error. See 400 error. Let's something error is here. Let's go to the file to check this to figure it out the issue. Here I'm getting error showing it in the line number 4. Here you can see that, right? Now let's check what issue is there. Here we define the class author is to entities. Yeah, Everything is clear. Let's recheck it there. Yes, here we missed it to export the module. For that's why it is not coming. So now let's test it. Now I exported the module, module.export equal to that service name. Now test. Yeah. Now we got the success message. I mean error message. Maintain this value properly. Let's correct this catalog service name properly. Yeah. Now correct. Now once this is correct, let's check path here to run the application first. So okay, for slash v2 slash catalog, we missed that catalog dot authors. Now it will come. Yeah, comma. Yeah, now it will work. C value is required for the name. Sorry, we are testing wrong data here. Let's repost it. Okay, for the name validation we maintain here in the schema dot file, right? It's a mandatory field. First it is showing that message. So let's enter that data here, something. Now once that is clear, now you can see the validation, the depth of this data, what is the current data, and this is data. So that's how we need to maintain the before validations. So if you see the path, please recheck it, don't miss it like me. And first it will check the schema validation things. If that is proper, then it's checking into the system logic validations and it is throwing things. So in next video what I will do is I will show you how to debug these logics, so you will get to know more knowledge on to maintain logics correctly. So if you like this video will helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.